Hi, I'm Robin Walter, and I have worked at Iles Funeral Homes since 1988. Women have always been caregivers and of their families, and that meant that naturally they led to caring for the dead. And in funeral service, families were usually the ones early on that were the professionals. It was women working alongside men. I was a first generation funeral director. I didn't come from funeral service. And so when I decided I wanted to have a career, I went to mortuary college, where about 20% of my class was women, but only a handful of us were first generation. I was privileged to come to Des Moines and start working at Iles Funeral Homes. I was the first woman to work for the funeral home, and I don't think that the guys really knew what to do with me. It even came down to having me sit with the secretary to talk about dress code, and they sent me over to Reikart's to get a suit where they got suits, but Reikart's didn't sell women's suits. They had to make me one to match the guys. I was a little nervous about going down to the big funeral home with the older funeral director as manager, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I was privileged to work with a group of men that were very talented, willing to show me how to order the casket and where to get the grave digger, but more than that, did show me how to deal with people. And just watching them, seeing how they worked with those, taught me a lot over the years. I was also privileged to come into funeral service at a time when Ruth Odie was the first woman to be president of IFDA. And we started to have funeral service luncheons where we brought women together to talk about the common issues of women in the profession. It could be where to find a suit. It could be how to deal with the pallbearers when they all thought that the little girl shouldn't get to drive the big car. It could be that it's how to find childcare when you have an erratic schedule and have to be up in the night. And it could be that it's how to find a job. Now, when you look at funeral service classes today, about 50% of them are women. And we don't do the lunches at the convention anymore. It would lead you to think that this is a gender-neutral profession, but the challenges for women still remain. You know, it takes a certain mental toughness to be a funeral director, and it's important for women to teach women about how to be resilient and how to cope, especially when you think about the fractured families that we're working with today and the new challenges in funeral service. I've been privileged to work in funeral service for over 30 years now, and I'm so glad that I have more women funeral directors working alongside me at the funeral home. I think that women are uniquely in a position to be creative and address the issues of funeral service going forward, the fractured families and the challenges of teaching our community what the meaning of a funeral is and how it can help in their grieving process. So it's been a great profession for me, and I'm not done yet.